Ladies and gentlemen, today we're diving into a hot social topic, not your grocery cart, but the debate between black and white. White folks say that if black students are forced into their schools, bullying and violence will show up like free drinks at a party. Although they admit that someday kids of all colours will bask in the sunshine of knowledge together, today's not that day. However, the voice of justice resonated, and our calm lawyer swiftly identified a tiny flaw in the opponent's argument, initiating a formidable counteroffensive. I'd rather read the opponent's book than deal with those shallow white perspectives. Not possible. Whites and people of color in the same school. That's pure fantasy. Can you tell me when we can turn this myth into reality? In the future. Tomorrow. Next week. 100 years from now. Not happening. This isn't the right time. Nor is it a time for freedom. It's right now. This fiery debate received thunderous applause. Even the white audience couldn't help but clap. But the next day, the teacher was forcibly taken by the police. What an unexpected twist. Upon hearing the news, Fomo's dad swooped in like Superman, lawyer in tow. Are you threatening me? No, sir, I wouldn't do that. So what does that mean? Killing. Democracy. Red and white. This Texas showdown is quite the spectacle. Is that really what you want? If you let Tozen go home, I bet all those folks outside will head home too. With just a few words, Dad convinced the sheriff to talk about the power of words. Meanwhile, the debate team revved up for action, and the teacher drove them to their next match, but they saw something horrifying on the way. They spotted a black man hanging from a tree. Cooked to a crisp like a barbecue, everyone was understandably shaken. The teacher quickly turned off the car lights and signaled the students to duck down, ready to sneak past, but those sneaky white folks turned on them. The moment they saw the driver was black, they charged at them like hunting dogs. What a nail-biting moment. Luckily, the teacher's driving skills saved the day, making a quick turn and speeding away from the car chase. This incident put a huge psychological toll on them. Henry rushed to the bar to drown his sorrows. Maybe that's his coping mechanism. Fomo got a chance to debate, but they were still shaken, like emerging from a dive. He began to understand his father's compromises, but luck wasn't on their side, and now the teacher was under government scrutiny for attending a rally. Their luck changed when he received an invitation to the Harvard debate. Everyone knows that's the Super Bowl of debates. The teacher was teary-eyed because this was finally a chance for black voices to be heard across America. The next morning, the team arrived at the train station, ready to embark on this legendary journey. But just as they were about to board, the teacher said he couldn't join them. What a twist in the tale. Once off the train, a Harvard student greeted them, announcing it would be the most thrilling debate ever. It would be broadcast nationally, letting the whole of America hear their voices. What is their goal? What's their goal? Repeat that question, like they are on a quest for answers. Everything felt so surreal, like peeling an onion. They were starting to feel a sense of newfound respect. Just when everything seemed to be going smoothly, an unexpected letter struck like lightning, breaking the peace. Upon hearing about the Wiley College debate speech, Harvard decided to change the debate topic last minute. They now had only 48 hours to prepare against Harvard in a sprint of epic proportions. Fomo, in a state of desperation, reached out to the teacher by phone for assistance, but received no reply, leaving them with no choice but to personally delve into materials to compose their arguments. Peace. Everyone went silent. The atmosphere turned awkward in a heartbeat. I never expected even a Harvard waiter to be so scholarly. What a surprise. They argued over the opening lines until Henry stomped out in anger. Talk about dramatic. He thought of hitting the bar, but instead saw black folks stuck in dark corners, drowning their sorrows. It was heartbreaking. In contrast, white folks were cruising in fancy cars, and suddenly Henry saw the stark reality before him. He decided to return, staying up to craft a speech for Harvard, brimming with confidence. Why do you want me to play? I performed so poorly last time. Are you sure about this? Fomo was just as puzzled on his face. With tears in his eyes, Henry asked the question the teacher had often pondered. Where exactly is he? Because his voice is as strict as truth. In a sense, he's just speaking the truth. The debate kicked off as scheduled, with almost all white folks in attendance, while the radio listeners were early silent, worried to miss a moment. Once the Harvard president read the debate topic, the match officially began. The topic was whether passive resistance is a moral weapon, and Fomo shared the harrowing tale from India years ago. Thousands gathered to resist the British monarchy, only to face the merciless slaughter.